I'm
Hello,
Kaya.
and I'm Lisa.
I'm just going to share for you.
Just going to share into our group, which you're welcome to come and join if you want, Spacious Woman, but that's not what we want to talk about now, so I just want to talk about what we want to talk about. What we want to talk about today is the real key to transforming an over-busy, over-scheduled, crazy life where you feel like you're being torn in multiple directions all the time. The key to transforming that is actually an inner game that needs to be worked on. And I know that you're probably calling bullshit on me on that and saying, no, my to-do list is crazy and my number of projects I'm on and the number of things that I have going is what is making my life crazy and over busy and stressed and overwhelming, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I get that. And I believe that your to-do list looks insane. And mine does too, from time to time.
Yeah, and there is truth in that.
Yeah, there is.
But the messages that you're telling yourself, the beliefs you have, the stories that are pretty old are what's informing that. So when you go to that level, then you actually have the power to change, and you can change a lot faster.
Yeah. So what is really underneath all of that is the different stories and beliefs that you are carrying around that are creating a really hectic, busy, stressed out life. And they include all sorts of things, from perfectionism to procrastination to proving yourself or your self-worth or your value or compensating or rebelling. There's like all sorts of stuff going on under the surface that are actually driving a lot of the conditioning and decisions and habits that you have in your life that are making you say yes to a lot of stuff and are making you feel torn in multiple directions. There's all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah, so the invitation, the beginning point, the jumping off point that we're inviting you to do is do a little journaling exercise. And it's powerful to actually journal it. Like, you could just sit here and think as well. There's extra power in just getting out paper and pen and journaling.
And it doesn't have to be like fancy paper and pen. It can be the back of anything. Just get it out.
Just actually reflect on, like, who were your role models growing up, who you have actually had a lot of influence from around being busy, around the way that you spend your time, and around what they believe was important to spend their time in.
What messages they carried with them around what it was to be successful, what it was to be powerful, what it was to be productive.
And what it was to be valid.
And worthy. Yeah. All of those messages you've been taking on. You also took on a whole heap of messages about what wasn't of worth, what wasn't appreciated, what wasn't seen as having value. All of those messages are also sitting there. And it's really joining all that together created this system within you on, this is what it is to be successful. This is what I need to do. This is what it needs to look like. This is what I'll get from it if I do this. This is what it looks like to be a successful mother, or this is what it looks like to be a terrible mother, depending on which way you go with that. This is what it looks like to be successful in my career. This is what it looks like to be a modern woman and have it all. This is what it looks like all these stories that you fed yourself and that that's what we do as children, right? We look around and we are assimilating, synthesizing information from all our role models. And some of it is healthy and some of it is not healthy. And you want to re-examine what it is for you and really look at it. So Kara and I were talking about, well, if we asked ourselves that coaching question, what were our role models telling us about what it means to be successful, what it means to be powerful? Does it mean
what was okay and what wasn't okay? What was acceptable and what wasn't acceptable?
Yeah, and what that meant for us. So for me, I have a highly overachieving overproductive father with multiple degrees and like crazy, and he's a doctor, so I grew up with him being on call a lot and needing to respond at the beck and call with some life and death situations all the time. Yeah, so I took on messages about what it meant to be of service to other people, to drop everything, to always be there, to be highly on top of everything in multiple fields, and to research till the cows came home. Like, I absorbed all of that on what it meant to be successful and what it meant to really be productive and contributing into society. At the same time, my father, his stories backwards, but he took on the belief that it wasn't a good idea to praise your children, right? And so I also became this huge perfectionist because I never felt like I could do enough. Like, I never felt like I was really, like, I got feedback that, oh, that was a great job, you did really well. I was like, oh, I've got to do better, I've got to do better, I've got to do better, you know. And so if I look at those stories, and if I get into moments of unconsciousness and unawareness, and we all do it, you know, those stories will totally run me. I will become a perfectionist. I will become overachieving. I will like research till the cows come home. I will say yes and feel like I should drop everything all the time and be of service because that makes me feel important, you know. And it's all coming from my childhood conditioning, right?
Yeah. When I was sitting with that just before, a message that I got through watching my parents and also through hearing things that they would share with me is that in order to be valid and in order for my work in the world to really have service and have meaning, I would need to do a lot of volunteer work, and I would need to do a lot of like selfless giving, and then that term could be unpacked in many ways as well. Like, there's all this unpacking we could do around what something means and what it doesn't mean according to the messages that we've received.
And we morph it. Like, as we grow, it's not what our parents are trying to tell us. It's not they sat down and said, this is what you have to do. It's like we take it on board, and it kind of over the years becomes something completely different anyway.
Yeah.
You know? Another one that Karen and I both share is the idea that if you see something out there in the world that's lacking, that needs to be fixed, you should go and do it. You should be the one to step up and make it happen. Karen and I now run multiple community programs because
say yes and yes and yes and yes all the time.
Okay, so all of these things are driving us underneath, and that's where the real key is. You can like learn a gazillion productivity tips and tweak your to-do list till the cows come home, and it won't stick. They won't really be the needle movers, because the needle movers to alchemizing the way you feel about your life and your schedule and your roles and all of that is the inner game. It's the inner pieces. It's why we're asking you to look at that now, here, as you're listening to us. What were the messages you received as a child about what it meant to be good at what you do, to be successful, to juggle all your balls, to do it right? Okay?
What made you worthy? What made you valuable? What was worthwhile? What wasn't worthwhile?
Yeah, and we would love to hear in the comments anything that you want to share on that, any of the beliefs, because I would put money on it that there are so many common ones that we all share. It's just the way culturally it works, right?
Yeah, and just noticing them is not necessarily the only step in that process, but it is a huge step. And often, because we think, oh well, like that just seems so little, we don't even do that step. We don't even sit down and really be aware of what the stories are.
And consciously aware, not just kind of vaguely aware that it's floating around in the background, which is why we tell you to write it down. Just write it down, because it will be really interesting for you to go, oh, wow.
Yeah, give yourself that space and that time. It's really valuable. It's powerful. And what it does is that as soon as you're aware of something, you're less sticky to it. You're less caught up in it. You've zoomed out from it, so you have power over it.
Yeah, it's no longer running you. Now you are the one who has the distance and the perspective, and you can make those shifts, right? You can make the change. So do that exercise. Have a look. Pick out one of those things and just glance over your week or your month or whatever it is and look at how that story or belief is actually present and driving your overbusy life right now. Like, have a look at them, because they're there and they're absolutely driving you, and they're the key to making the shifts, really the long-term shifts into that spaciousness and that life balance that we keep wanting. It's the inner game that changes that. Oh, Murray, yay. My mother's antics and stress. She never helped me finish ballet projects. I found emotionless relationships with both parents. I don't know what love is really. Yeah. So I'm curious, you say she never helped me finish ballet or projects. So what did you take that to mean about what you need to do to be successful in the world, or what you need to do to be a good mother in the world?
That question, what did I take that to mean, is a really powerful one. And you can keep kind of exploring and going a bit further with that. Like, what did I take that to mean? And what did I take that to mean, until you hit a space where you're like, ooh.
You'll know. Yeah. You'll know. You'll feel it in your body, like, ooh, yeah, that's a big one.
That's something that I've really been believing without it really serving me, and it's been huge for me. Yeah.
So if you are really serious about transforming what feels like a crazy, overwhelming life, what feels too busy, too chaotic, too nuts, too emergency driven, if you really want to change that, then the inner game is the place where you need to start. It's where the major transformation happens. The rest of it will mirror. The rest of it are little things that you put on top. This is where the power is.
And the rest of it's more effective when on top of shifting that.
Absolutely. Okay, so if you are serious about that, do what we suggested here on the live and book in and have a call with one of us and really talk one-on-one with one of us about what is really driving you. Get clear, get that clarity. We can give that to you. So jump on a call. The booking link is in the description. We do have spaces in our calendar at the moment that we're giving to these calls, and we would love to welcome you to one of them.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here today. Hey, Ruthie, it's nice to see you too. Mwah. We'll see you later.
Bye.
Bye.